You know, it's the life of a professional walleye angler. I just got done about the last 2 hours trying to wear some energy out of my 3-year-old and my 1-year-old. But we're actually gonna hop in the truck and we're gonna head up to Sault Ste. Marie. And it's a location that we've shot a few shows at before and have had a bunch of tournaments in the past over the last 10 years or so. But what happened last year on that system up there, I think opened everyone's eyes. There was an MWC event up there where the weights were absolutely huge. And what those guys were doing is trolling rock piles, spoil piles, real near where Lake Huron actually is on that system. So it's huge water and it's a totally different type of technique than what I'm used to fishing up there. And we're gonna head up there and meet my good buddy Dave Atkinson, who actually just opened a brand new nitro dealer. So we're gonna go check that out. We're gonna go on the water, we're gonna throw some crankbaits at him, we're gonna throw some spinners at him. So come along with us and we'll show you the next bite.
Just looking for the next bite, next bite, just looking for the next bite.
We'll continue to show you the next bite.
Precision, versatility, and stealth are defining factors for setting up an effective trolling presentation beneath the crystal clear waters of Michigan's Sault Ste. Marie system.
Flicker minnow.
On the flicker minnow.
Whether trolling crankbaits or spinners for these Upper Peninsula walleyes.
Cute little bit. Oh, another poser.
Yep, nice little one. Yeah, look at him.
Chase and Dave are making passes while also looking for fish marks.
This is probably a little bit bigger than yours, which isn't a surprise.
As the rock piles they are targeting are relatively small for trolling.
Yep, I see him.
Sometimes only the size of a football field.
That's not too bad right
A
there.
little fatter.
Oh, there we go, man. That's a nice fish. That's fat, huh?
Yeah. We're fishing today over an area that has a ton of rock humps. Some of the areas have fish scattered on the outsides of them. Other areas have the fish right on top of them. As we approach the rock piles, we're able to speed up a little bit and bring our baits up above the rock. We tend not to snag as much, but there seems to be more fish activity going on right now over top of the rocks. If you look at your Lowrance and try to find areas where you see rock humps, here today we've spent a lot of our time on one rock bar where there's very similar rock bars right next to us. So be diverse and be aggressive, move around, checking different locations that look similar to the ones you've been catching fish on. A lot of times will help you put more fish in the box.
Even though the time of day generally affects where the walleyes are holding on the piles, fishing while also scouting marks can still be pretty tricky.
I'll get these out of your way. You were kind of just letting that one out almost, weren't you?
Yeah, they're still all going up. It's nice to see you work so hard again.
Yeah, I'm sweating already.
So given the intensely abstract cover that the tops of these piles are providing the walleyes,
When you're built like this, everything feels kind of small when you're bringing it in.
one advantage Chase and Dave are able to utilize is a newer form of sonar technology.
Decent
walleye
fish,
pike.
yep. Hooked right in the roof of the moat, just like you want it.
Yeah. I've been trained by the best.
You know, this is a situation that truly shows you how important it is to use structure scan when you're fishing in situations like we are today. All of these rock humps, roughly at about that 18 to 19 foot mark is where you start to see the transition in between the mud and the sand on the sides and to where it gets to the rock. And then when you get on top in that 13, 14 feet, it gets really, really gnarly. And it can be really tough to determine, is that a rock, is that a fish? In the structure scan, this is actually a perfect picture. I actually stopped both the sides. I'm running one of these HDS 12s in split screen, and what I like to do is run 2D sonar on one side and then the structure scan, the down scan on the opposite side. These fish can literally be tucked right in the crevices of these rocks, so it's going to be tough on a 2D sonar unit just to determine exactly what you're seeing. And you can see here there's some bumps along the bottom. Could those be rocks? Could those be fish? They sure could be either. But on the structure scan, when I'm looking at the same picture, what I could see is a mark right there that has separation off the bottom, another mark there, and another mark there. So those are fish that are laying tight to the bottom, which you can't tell on the 2D that they're actually fish, but by using the structure scan and the 2D in conjunction, you're able to tell on any type of situation you're fishing exactly what you're really fishing for, and it's going to help you put a lot more fish in the boat by the end of the day.
The next bite is brought to you by Mercury, #1 on the water. Amsoil, performance for serious adventure. Tracker Boats, fish the finest. Bass Pro Shops, your adventure starts here. Berkeley, catch more fish. Mustad, stay sharper longer. Lowrance, find, navigate, dominate. Motor Guide trolling motors engineered for anglers. Strike King, legacy of domination for 50 years. And Power Pole, swift, silent, secure. Starting out by running flicker minnows to cover more structure faster. Chase and Dave are having the best success using flicker rigs to troll spoil piles in search for Sault Ste. Marie walleyes.
Let me hold that for you while you do something.
Don't worry about it. I'll reel the fish in and steer the boat too, Dave.
But whether it's cranks or spinners, one particularly important constant in the structure trolling equation is boat control.
This is one of those situations in fishing that I really enjoy, and I gotta be honest, this is the first time that I've fished any of these rock piles. Dave's done it quite a bit, and he typically likes to pull spinners. In structure areas, no matter what type of fishing you're doing, is where boat control gets really important. With crankbaits, what I have done in the boat control is actually running the kicker, okay? Because with crankbaits, typically we're talking about a little bit faster speed. And because of that higher speed, I can control the boat even if there's a crosswind on some of this structure. Now, right now, what I'm actually doing is pulling spinners. We're pulling these spinners across these rock piles, and I'm actually just simply using the bow mount, and it's that XI5 motor guide. And the cool thing is I can control the boat from the back of the boat with this remote, keep us right on exactly where we need to be on this structure. If I want to go over the top of those reefs, it's no problem. If I want to scoot down the edge, it's no problem. So really, what you have to look at is what type of technique you're going to do, and then use the technology that you have in your boat to keep yourself on the spot better than what you could by using the same thing in either technique.
Oh, looks like we might have two going here.
Oh yeah, yeah, mate. Yeah, there's definitely one right here, man.
There's one on this one too.
Being able to use essentially the same tackle in their rods and lines for both cranks and spinners is a major convenience. It also allows Chase and Dave to focus not only on the finer points of each presentation, but more importantly, catching as many of these walleyes that they can as they mark them while making their trolling passes.
This one feels decent too. Mine'll probably be bigger than yours.
This is a good one. Sault Ste. Marie fish. Let's see how good I am at this, sir. Can I remove one of these boards with one hand? And a walleye? Kind of.
I would have probably did that a little bit smoother, but that's not bad.
Yeah, maybe. What do you think?
You might have me by a couple of inches.
I don't know. I'm keeping this one in until we see.
The head shakes were pretty quick. I don't know how big it is, but it might be decent.
Yeah, it's a decent eye, Dave.
Yeah, not bad.
There we go.
Good job.
I would say they're actually pretty similar. Why don't you grab that one out quick?
Twin brothers.
Yeah, I wanted to get this one back, but man, they're both healthy fish. That's for sure. The cool thing is one came on the blue, one came on the gold. So I'd say that those two colors are pretty solid.
Yeah. Not too shabby. Twins. You might have me by 1/8 of a pound.
Those are both really nice fish though, man.
Excellent fish.
Yep, absolutely. And they were sitting right next to each other. Nice and easy. I just grabbed the inside one, you grab the next one. That's the way fishing's meant to be.
real deal. Real fishing information from real fishing experts. Presented by AmSoil.
It wasn't too long ago when a phone simply made phone calls. But now, as we all know, they do a lot of different things. Get you on the internet, you can do all your texting, Facebooking. Heck, you can even get lure data right on your phone with an app. Well, just like phones, our units, our depth finders have come a long way also. More and more information is coming on here. The latest thing is for something called Vessel View to allow you to hook up and actually see information about your motor, and beyond that, you can actually control the motor. So you need one of the newer Mercury engines to do this, but once you get it all hooked up, you can see all the information about your motor on this unit, kind of like the old Smart Gauge used to be, but you can also control it. So let me show you a couple of things on this screen here that I really like for this Vessel View. First of all, I'll just go to menu here. I'll slide over and I'll pick this turtle right here. And the turtle is just a little symbol for the troll mode, because what happens there is that this lets you go slower when you're trolling than even you can with the manual idle. So what I can do here is I can simply touch the RPM. I could go up, so I can rev up my engine a little, or I can go down, goes all the way down to 550 RPM. But that'll slow that engine down enough so that you could do things like troll a crankbait with that big engine. Now, the second thing that I like here is if I go again to menu, I can pick this little Dolphin, and Dolphin is eco mode. What eco mode is that Mercury engine will actually take and keep track of data to give you the best fuel economy based on throttle and your trim position. So what you'll see is this little line will come up. When you're getting the best fuel economy, it'll actually turn green and let you save a lot of gas. So again, this unit is starting to get a view of everything in the boat, whether you're looking at running your XI5 trolling motor or running your Mercury engine and back with the Vessel View. More and more stuff is going on this unit, and it just makes us fishermen that much more efficient.
The best thing about pulling spinners and crankbaits on the same type of structure, same type of areas, is that a lot of the equipment that you use really is the same thing. When it comes to the components, to the bread and butter of what we're using today, we're using those flicker rig blades, which come pre-packaged, so it's really easy for you to use, and we're using flicker minnows as well. When it comes to looking for colors, this is unlike anything else. I pretty much try everything and let the fish tell me what works. But when you're looking at between going from a spinner blade in that flicker rig line to a crankbait in the flicker minnow line, or even the flicker shad line, a lot of the colors are very similar. So without a doubt, what we found with the spinners is this blue and silver color pattern has been phenomenal. So if I'm fishing that same location and I want to change over to crankbaits, there's a blue alewife color and a flicker minnow. So these colors are very, very similar. Another really good color for us has been this gold sunset, and this really is one of my favorites from body of water to body of water. So what Berkley's truly done for you is no matter if you want to fish spinners or crankbaits, they've made it very, very easy to dial in your color, especially when you found the one that's catching the most fish.
Professional angler Chase Parsons and Nitro Boats dealership owner Dave Atkinson are keeping their line setups as adjustable as possible.
There's one here, Chase, I think.
Yeah. Outside board, so nice. I get to clear both of them, huh?
I like to see you do something.
Helping to avoid the snaggy tops of their targeted spoil piles.
We have a ton of line out, so he's gonna be up pretty quick.
And ensuring that they don't burn any potential bites, no matter if the walleyes are on the top of the rock piles or deeper off the sides.
Oh, there we go. On the gold blade there.
Yeah, they're liking that flicker rig.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing is we're fishing in an area that's pretty snaggy, so we're losing some things, and these things come pre-tied, so we don't even have to tie up our own things. Just pull them out of the pack and put them on, and
they're made for a guy like me.
and catch some walleyes.
Chase and Dave are using strictly boards for their spinner presentation, and then a combination of boards and flat lines for crankbaits when searching new areas.
Your middle board, both your boards on this side are having issues.
Right on top of a hump. We're snagged up with some lines, but we got a fish on too.
Of course, neither is a guarantee that you'll remain snag-free, but the goal of both setups is ultimately the same.
We kind of have a train wreck going on right now. We got pretty much every line snagged up on the rocks, but sometimes a snag turns into a nice walleye like this.
And that is getting the most out of each trolling pass for either presentation.
One of the things that I've found over the past few years that's really helped out a lot with trolling crankbaits on structure is utilizing both planer boards and flat lines at the same time. And I love to use the planer boards obviously because they spread the lines out. And in a situation like this at Sault Ste. Marie, the water is very clear, so it's nice to be able to get those crankbaits away from the boat so you don't get the spook factor. And of course, if I'm fishing a reef that maybe comes up to say 14 feet on the top and there's a lot of rocks and a lot of snags, you want to make sure with those board lines that you're running those baits 12 or 13 feet down, because if you're running on the boards 14, 15 feet down, there's no adjusting that depth. You can change the speeds a little bit, which will change it very, very minutely. But with these flat lines, that's where it becomes really, really key. And especially when I'm getting to a new area, that's what I like to do. Off of these breaks, off of these reefs, there's 30, 25 feet of water, and a lot of times those fish are sitting in that transition on those breaks. So with these flat lines, I can actually run those baits down, and what I'm utilizing is an offshore guppy weight here. It's actually a 2-ouncer, and what I like to do is make sure that you have a constant. So I'm running 50 feet of line out on those flicker minnows and running this 2-ounce guppy weight and putting it down at various depths, and that allows me to fish that 30 foot, and then I raise it as we come up to those reefs, and it allows me to keep those baits real tight to the bottom with as little line out as possible. By utilizing flat lines too along with your boards, you can cover a wide path but cover a wide range of depths as well.
Hot topics, leading information, and tackle and techniques to make you a better angler. Presented by Mercury.
You know, for a walleye angler, one of the toughest decisions to make is if I'm gonna go get a bunch of new rods, what rod should I get? And Bass Pro has really helped the angler out over the last few years with that Walleye Angler Signature Series line of rods. Now, they've actually revamped that entire series of rods, and that's a series of rods that we have personally used for many, many years. And we had a lot of input on this new series, which is pretty cool. And the first thing that you'll notice is the color's different, right? It's a dark green instead of a black. But that's really minor details, I guess, when I'm looking at a rod. What I see here is with the spinning rods, and these are available all the way from 5'9" up to 7 feet in length. But these rods in construction have what's called carbon coil technology. And basically what that's done is it's made all these rods stronger and lighter. And when you're talking light, that's something that's very important, because if I'm vertical jigging in a river with a 1/2 ounce jig all day long, it's nice to have a nice light rod in your hand. So there's those split handles here. There's actually a heat shrinked EVA grip on the spinning models too. Now, as we look into the other techniques, they've also used that carbon coil technology, which is very, very good in both the bottom bouncer rod, which we have right here. You'll see it's a split grip as well. And this is a 7-foot handheld bottom bouncer rod with that trigger right here, that trigger grip. And I'll use that for pulling slow death, pulling spinners on bottom bouncers, a lot of different things. But the first thing that I noticed when I grabbed this rod is just truly how light it is. And then we go up into basically one of the most popular rods for walleyes, and that's your trolling setups. You'll see you have the telescoping models that you've always had in that walleye angler line. You have actually kind of the same style grip, but what you have is added strength to the whole setup. So when you're looking at rods, it's just as easy to decide on what rod I need to go with if I'm a troller, a jigger, or a bottom bouncer fisherman.
Not all of the rock piles that Chase Parsons and Dave Atkinson are targeting on the Sault Ste. Marie system for trolling are shallow.
This is kind of a different hump than some of the other ones we've been fishing. This one's a little bit deeper. It actually it tops off at about 23 feet or so, but really the characteristics are the same. I mean, there's rocks on top of it, and there are so many of these humps down here. I mean, you can't imagine.
Yeah, this is a huge area.
Yeah, I mean, you could fish it for a year and not cover all these things. It's unreal, but really all these things could have these fish on, and I'm sure that if you get lucky, you'll hit one that's gonna have a bunch of big ones on too.
Strategy in your trolling tactics is everything.
Oh, outside board, and it's buried, Dave.
Luck is always a factor in any type of fishing, but putting the odds in your favor by fishing smart is how to make the theoretical a reality.
Come on, buddy. Yeah! That's a good one.
Much better.
Yeah, man. That's what we came here for. Look at how gold that fish is, huh? Wow. And it's on that gold sunset flicker rig right there, too. Man. I'm going to need a pliers here. Nice thing is I was not going to lose that one.
There you go. Oh,
Yeah, I got it.
you wanted that thing.
Yeah. There we go.
That's a lot nicer fish.
Oh man, that is what we came here for right there. It's unbelievable how gold they are here, huh? They are pretty fish.
Yeah, a lot of color.
Good length to it, heavy fish. You know, I know they come bigger than that here, but I've fished a lot of tournaments here before, and a fish like that is like gold.
Oh yeah.
On almost any system. So this is fun, fishing this structure, catching fish like that. Man, you can't beat it.
We're fishing today in a deep air. Let's start over. Can I get a ride? If it was a Packers hat, he wouldn't complain. Yeah, Jake, you gotta go.
Bird's nest, amateur.
Nice if I could start off the day putting a hook all the way through my finger.
That would be really good.
Wouldn't that be cool? What color is this? A duck-billed platypus?
The Next Bite would like to thank The Last Resort, home of Wild Bill's Bait and Tackle, located across from the St. Mary's River in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. For more information on The Last Resort, visit thelastresortofsaultstemarie.com.